All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listen learning, to the Bayasha Debadad, the house of David, Salakia. This is Minerval at Las Vegas Camp. I am Ayashatab.
No crap.
All right, coming to you through the will and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and today I have a lesson for you, and it's called Heart Shall Not Fear. All right, and without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get into the lesson, and we'll start at the book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Okay. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, "The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying."
So the kings of the earth, all right, which is so-called Esau, Edom, all right, and these other nations, they set themselves above, all right, the children of Israel, all right, and ultimately it was because of our disobedience, but they continued us in our captivity, all right, after a time period where we were out of our punishment, all right, through slavery, the northern and the southern kingdom. All right, we got out of our slavery and we were supposed to be set free. All right, and freedom has never looked so much like slavery. You know?
Especially today, it's coming to your guys' realization.
God.
You know, what we're headed into.
God, and we still here yet this day in our captivity. Mm-hmm. All right, as is prophesied in what is that? The book of Esdras?
Baruch.
Baruch.
That's chapter 3 and verse 8.
Baruch chapter. Matter of fact, let's pull that just because.
It's Baruch 3 and 8. It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to the payments according to all the iniquities." It's like, yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, but according to all the iniquities.
So you don't have to start going. I keep on thinking.
According to all the iniquities. Salakia, we just, we're going to put this up raw because we just watched a video on, in the chat, a TikTok video that, that the UN troops are really coming over here. And, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, we're finding humor out of it because we're almost at the end of this thing.
Right.
No. But we go continue on with this.
Right.
We ain't going to start over.
In the TikTok video, though, they were,
praying to Allah Akbar.
Right. But pretty much, it was some footage overhead of these shipping containers, the same ones that they said that they couldn't board into the U.S., while we're having problems with supplies and whatnot.
God.
But those same shipping containers, there's a mass amount of people coming out of them, during specific times of the day and praying. It looks like they're praying, in a Muslim fashion.
God.
So we know what that's really about.
God.
But okay, so let's get back to the scripts. Baruch 3 and 8. "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power."
God. So we are yet today in our captivity. That's why we have to make payments, as you heard, all right, in the scripts.
Right. Some taxes.
All right, we got to pay the taxes. You got to pay land tax, property tax, a child tax, tax on water, tax on groceries,
right.
just tax.
Hey,
all right.
Spiritually, we're paying for the iniquities that our forefathers did.
God, in which our forefathers or us. Because reincarnation is real, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So we continued that transgression. So yet we are this day into our captivity still, all right? But Go to Job 24 and 1.
We getting 1 through 4.
God.
So this is the book of Job, chapter 24. In verse 1, why seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty, do they that know him not see his days?
God. Time is not hidden from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? And read that last part of it. Those that...
It says, do they that know him not see his days?
Do those that know him. Who would be those that know Yahweh Bashem Yahushai?
God, them is the prophets.
God. And we see the days. Because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai gave us signs and times to watch for.
God said he will reveal those mysteries unto the prophets.
God.
All right, verse 2, it says, some remove the landmarks. They violently take away flocks and feed thereof.
Hey, they violently take away flocks. That's what you're seeing right now. All right? Esau, Edom, and these other nations, but chiefly Esau, Edom, has given the order, all right, to start inflicting mass amount of famine, mass casualties of pestilence, all right, of a pestilence. It may be looked at as somewhat of a war. All right, I'm trying to say this the best as possible. And
those are things that we coming into. You know?
God.
And honestly, it is a war. It's it's a war against humanity.
And a war against Jacob.
But mainly against
because we don't care about humanity in its entirety.
Right. It's more against the Israelites.
God, at this point in time, all right, we care about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, from you so-called Negroes, all right, all the way to you so-called Mexicans. That's who we care about, the nation of Israel, and only care about 1/3 of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because 2/3 of our own nation will perish. All right, through this time.
Yeah, we only here for the elect.
God, it's all about the elect. Nabaratazah we be of that number.
And that's who he got their target out for.
God.
They don't care about the 2/3. To him, he already got him right where he wanted.
God. Destroyed.
Right. All right, verse 3, it says, they drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge.
God, they take the substance of the widows, all right, for a pledge. They continue to take from the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They make our women desolate, all right. They make men desolate, all right. There is no go back to the curses. There's no assurance of life.
Right.
Grope at noonday.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Following after false doctrines and a multitude of other things. This is the wicked Esau, Edom, and these other nations. All right, because they're confederate. Referring back to Psalms 83 and 2 through 12. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 4, they turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together.
Hey, who is the poor of the earth? All right. They turn the needy out the way. Are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans not in need? All right. They give you so-called Native Americans land in Hurricane Alley. All right. In places that are undesirable to them. All right. They're undesirable in conditions. In a multitude of things, and turn them out of the way. Continuously. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? Read that one more time out.
All right, just move from there. We're right here. This is Job 24 and verse 4. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together.
God, we hide ourselves together. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are found in the same same hoods. All right. You continuously are together and together with strife. All right, you live on top of each other, and then you got gang violence. All right, you got certain areas of certain neighborhoods where you can't go because of your so-called color of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's that self-hatred perpetuated through the Willie Lynch.
Hey, going back into the
Going back into the curses.
well, going back to the curses, but what was that, the 50s? Going back into that time period.
40s, 50s,
right,
60s.
And Jake really had a boundary where he couldn't go. He couldn't pass this side of town. When in the days of segregation and everything.
God. And there was and that goes into the destruction of our people and to the self-hatred. Goes back to the curses and goes back to the Willie Lynch letter, which is the continuing series that we're going to do, and that's actually the chapter that we're on.
But and then also when you think about the future of Jacob's trouble, the elect, the elect is gonna have to hide themselves together.
God.
It's all through the spirit. But you're not gonna be able to hang around the other 2/3 of this nation or the other people in this society.
God.
Because they're gonna get you got.
God, it'll only be the 1/3. There'll still be those who are waking up at the last trump.
Right.
But the 1/3 is the elect is all who Yahweh Shem Shai is worried about at this time of the nation of Israel. 2/3 of our own people will perish and die. And just to prove that, let me go to Zechariah right quick. Slacky. This will be the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, and verse 8, and it reads, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts there shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein." All right, so 2/3 of our own people will be cut off and die. All right, for their wickedness. All right, for following after their father, the devil. All right, the adversary. All right. Okay, go ahead. Psalms.
Psalm
10?
Yeah, 10, or 10:6.
Okay.
This is Book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 6. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity.
And that's Esau Edom, saying he should never be moved, he should never be in adversity. He should never be in adversity to Yahweh Shem Shai's chosen people, to Yahweh Shem Shai first and foremost. All right, he should never want for anything. All right, that there's no bad time that is going to come unto him. He can rape, rob, and murder and live deliciously and live fat as he wants to in this land, America. All right, and continue this perpetual cycle of wickedness.
That's why he's trying to control everything.
God.
He thinks he could control the situation, to prolong his kingdom.
God.
His queendom.
What is that? Order out of chaos.
Right. That's the
anarchy.
Yep. The whole how to control the masses. That's the concept that these elites have came up with. This is verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
You look at that and you see that through all the fucking legislation that has been passed in the last 5 years.
Right.
Even before then, but really in the last, I'll take it to the last 10 years. Because Obama was a snake too. All right?
Hey, the brother sent something to the group chat today. It said that there's a legislation going out to where they're trying to control how many kids you can have now.
And that's your Democratic side.
Right. Then and they really going and basically they gonna try to push that bill to its fullest.
Con.
No, and everyone that don't abide, I think it's like
It's $10,000
it's after
fine.
your third kid, but it's like a $10,000 fine.
Con.
And shoot, Jake don't got $10,000 in his bank account.
Jake barely got $10 in his bank account.
Right.
All right.
Society.
On the average, on this society.
Hey, this is verse 8. That's speaking to the masses though. And verse 8 says, "He sitteth in lurking places of villages, in the secret places do he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor."
Hey, and he murders the innocent with multiple tactics in multiple ways. It doesn't just have to be by the gun. It could be pharmaceutical. All right? He could murder you spiritually. All right? Cripple you spiritually, and then you commit suicide. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Not having the substance that you need, you're crippled. All right? Crippling you and putting you in a position to do by any means necessary because you lack the faith.
Hey, he gets you alcohol dependency or dependent on some foods. Shit, he take you out just based on the foods you eat alone.
Con.
Let's get verse 9.
Roughly paraphrasing, we battle not against we battle against principalities and wickedness in high places.
Right.
Not what is it? Against flesh and blood, but principalities and wickedness in high places. Salakia.
This is Psalms 10:9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones.
God, and he does that through his legislation once again. Here, we're going to feed you. We'll give you WIC. We'll give you rent assistance. We're going to get a stimulus check.
But he croucheth and humble himself. He don't want to give you that money.
Right.
But he said, hey, if we give them this money, then they're gonna be eating right out of our hand until we close it.
Right. We're gonna be until we snap their neck.
Right. Until and then when they cut off the hand that they feeding me from, then you're gonna be dependent on them. Now he can get you to willfully, go into that net.
God.
He won't have to give you handouts no more to get you to come over here. You guys are gonna be going up to him. That's like, woe to them that go to the Egyptians,
God.
for help. The strong ones, and he so tactical. He said the strong ones to look like you.
God.
What let's say the most of the people that had their hands in the this cure, in the juice, they're Jake. The ones that actually developed it.
Right. And that's because he's crafty. All right? They may look like you, but they also might be tares.
Right, they may be tares too. But
Nevertheless,
they
look like you.
and they got them to vouch for you too.
God.
The strong ones, the
and the stars.
Right.
You got your what is it?
Spike Lee's,
Shaquille O'Neal.
Right. And now you got Kareem.
Right. All these, and you even got so-called, camps vouching for it.
Right.
Esau, Edom,
right.
Behind this thing. ISUPK. All right.
Come
11
and 5.
Come.
This is a book.
Oh no, Salakia. Go to Ecclesiastes. 8 and 12 and 13.
Yeah. This book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, and verse 12, says, "Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the powers, which fear before him.
God. Though a sinner do well 100 times, all right, though he
Do evil.
Salakia, do evil 100 times, he's you look at it as he's doing well because he's prospering. All right, because it has the appearance of prospering. All right, but Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is ultimately preserving them for that day. All right.
That's why very few humble. Everybody has a lot though, but very few humble people will be, super rich.
God.
There's a few of them out there. And not all wicked people. Not all rich people are wicked, but for the majority, they are. That's why it says also in the scripture that it's harder for
a camel to go through the eye of a needle in Matthews.
Right. But it's harder for a rich man to be righteous.
God. Same story.
Same story. But that's the point.
God.
This is verse 13. It says, "But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the power."
God, and they're not going to prolong their days because they fear not Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. 2/3 of our own people, which is who? The nation of Israel. We're worried about the 1/3, but we have to preach into all nations, and especially to the nation of Israel. We have to prophesy unto all nations, but prophesying unto the nation of Israel. 2/3 of our own people.
God. You got to think about, in the grand scheme of things, the elect is going to get, they're going to get, the rulership for eternity. They're going to get the abundance of this life for eternity. The wicked, their reign is a short time. And compared to eternity, what is this? 400 years
right. Let's say a total of, for all the heathen, a total of 2,500 years.
Right. That's gonna look like this.
1,000 days. 1 day is 1,000 years with the Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, so it's only 2.5 days.
Job 31.
Okay.
This is Job 31, in verse 3. It says, "Is not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Doth he see my ways and count all my steps? If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot have hasted to deceit."
Time, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua sees all the ways. Mm-hmm. Is it not said that the meek shall inherit the earth, and the wicked shall perish?
Right.
All right. So the wicked in doing their wickedness will perish. That is their lot. So that is given unto them. All right, and it is for us, Abarat, we are of that number, to stay faithful and true to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and to understand that if we obey the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, if you are a man of Israel out on the highways and byways doing the work or living your lot, all right, whether it be a help, whether it be an evangelist, whether it be a prophet, all right, if you were given unto the body of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, all right, and once again fulfilling your lot, man or woman, child, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai may have mercy on you. All right, you may be of the hopeful elect. All right, because we dare not make ourselves of that number. All right, but we practice and rehearse the righteous acts. All right, and put on as if we were, with all truth and sincerity and humbleness. All right, and I got some.
This book of Psalms, chapter 27 and verse 5, it says, "For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock."
Khan and Abaratazah, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to set us brothers and you brothers and sisters out there listening upon a rock. All right, stand fast for his word. For the brothers out there prophesying, for the women being obedient. All right, teaching the children, teaching the young women. All right, being in order, coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right. And that rock, Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Khan.
Yahushai is that rock.
And that he said that we stand upon that name that was given unto us.
Right.
You know?
It says, for my name's sake.
Khan.
It says, and now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto the Lord.
God, even though our head is lifted up high right now, we're still on the bottom. All right? We lift our head up to salvation, to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to give him honor, glory, and praise, even at the bottom. All right? And even when we're on top, and Yahweh Shem Yahushai subdues our enemies, all right, we lift up our head above them. Even on top of our enemies, we still lift up our head and give honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Right.
Give him the honor, the glory, and the praise.
Because we know what was to come.
God. And it's been multiple times that you, Jakes, through the Spirit, have heard this word, all right? And you haven't hearkened unto it. All right? 2/3 of our own people will perish. Will perish. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans for not hearkening unto the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right? But ultimately, we're not here for you. We're here for the 1/3. And Abaratazah, you take heed and wake up. All right? So that Yahweh Shem Yahushai may have mercy upon you and your household. All right? I ain't got nothing else.
Okay.
All right? I want to give all, Salaki, we want to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children, the Akim and Akwat, listening and learning, to the Bayasha Dabadat, the house of David. Till the next time we say Shalom, Wad, Bal, Babal.